like to welcome you all. At first, I'd like to thank our cafeteria staff, Mrs. Grinder, for providing a wonderful breakfast this morning. I'd also like to thank Mrs. Page, Mrs. Walsh, Mrs. Lorenzo, and Mrs. McMillan for getting today's program together. A special thank you to our parents, relatives, and friends for attending this morning. We know how busy you are. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day to help support the students. And to our students, you're here today to credit your hard work and dedication in the classroom for making the honor roll 2 consecutive quarters. All of you here should be very proud of that accomplishment. I always say what makes West Bridgewater so special are amazing and talented students, our dedicated and hardworking educators, and our supportive and caring community. This has been a wonderful year for us in our new building. There are so many great things in this building that can enhance the learning of our students. It truly makes this a 21st century learning environment, and our students are truly thriving. Today I'd like to focus on 2 things that occur outside of the building. The first is community service. Our students continue to give back to their school and to their communities. Through service clubs and organizations, they're required to give hours, but they usually go way above and beyond. This year, we've also allowed our seniors to do their 20-hour community service graduation requirement throughout the year, rather than at the end of the year. And we feel this has been very successful. Students have volunteered throughout the year at the YA, at schools, hospitals, the neighbors, at the food pantry, shelters, at the forestry department, at Midnight Madness, Relay for Life, the Special Olympics, as well as many other organizations. We truly hope that this commitment started here will continue on throughout their lives. And the big thing for you is that we hope that this graduation requirement will continue into the middle school years as well. It'll be our goal in the future that every class will have hours that they need to do as part of the requirement to continue to give back to their school and community. It was once said, the road to happiness is not hard to find. It's what we do for others that brings us peace of mind. This year, our students also gained valuable knowledge of the world outside of West Bridgewater. Our students and staff traveled to Costa Rica last July, and we welcomed students and staff from Costa Rica back here in December and January. Not only was this exchange program successful for our students, but also for our host families and the entire school community. This past October, our students took an extended trip to Quebec City, and during the year, as I visit classrooms, I see teachers and students Skyping to classrooms in Kenya, Madrid, Tajikistan, and Hungary, and probably others. And over the past 2 weeks, we had 43 students and staff visit from China. They spent time in the classrooms with our students, as well as visiting other classrooms around the district. And the excitement continues for these younger students. We're looking forward to exchange programs next year with schools in Lyon, France, as well as once again in San Ramon, Costa Rica. Our students' learning has no boundaries, and it's our goal to prepare them for the world that awaits them. For our students, continue to do the great things that have gotten you here today. Look for ways to continue to excel and make our school and community a better place. For our students, we wish you the best and once again congratulate you on all of your accomplishments. For our honors breakfast programs, we'd like to bring back former West Bridgewater graduates to speak. Dr. Matt Murray is a 1998 graduate of West Bridgewater. He is a special lecturer of philosophy at Providence College and senior project advisor for the growthpolicy.org project at the Harvard University Kennedy School of Government. He earned his PhD in political theory at Cardiff University. He is a distinguished author who has received numerous awards for his work. It's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Matt Murray.
Thank you very much. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here and to get to speak to you today, and congratulations on your accomplishment. I got an opportunity in doing this to think about my experiences while here as a student, and I'm going to try and be very honest and frank with you about what my experience was here and how that helped prepare me moving forward in my life. It's wonderful to hear you all as you came in. As I said to the last group, I'll say to you, you have fingerprints of the same institutions and individuals having touched your lives that I did. You have some of the same administrators that I did, and some of the same teachers even in certain cases. So it's wonderful to see that you share that commonality with me, which makes me feel like I'm home again. It's also lovely to hear, the complete lack of R's in pretty much everything you said. I will admit that when I was your age and going through, really started pretty early on, in second grade, decided I was going to be President of the United States, and then I was going to run for President in 2016. And for those of you who are upset with your present options, I apologize for having failed. It's lovely to be back. It's amazing how much West Bridgewater has changed. Obviously, but even just the larger community, seeing how just driving in on 106, how much has changed. But in how many ways it's still the same kind of experience. And so I wanted to focus on that and what the commonality was, because one of the aspects that I feel that people use to explain what the experience is like of not only going to school in West Bridgewater, but living in West Bridgewater in general, is that it's a bubble. And I wanted to explain why that's both a positive and a negative thing, which was that, a bubble, and this is to go into social, look at most social institutions, they're sort of organisms, and they exist within a far broader context. You don't know about yourself unless you reflect it in other people. They help define who you are, and you help define who they are. You push against each other. So the analogy I always use is if you were to wash the dishes, heaven forbid any of you still do that and do it the old-fashioned way. You pour the soap into the sink, and then you pour the water in and get all the bubbles, and they blow up, and they push against each other. That's why they all end up being different shapes. Some are big, some are small, and some of them are, they get popped. And that's kind of what happens with social organisms, is they grow and they expand and they cover more, or they get smaller and contract based upon the pressures that are around them. The bubble is just an aspect of pressure. So when you're in one, okay, like I tend to be in West Bridgewater, the aspects of what's around that, the pressurization can make the small things seem large. It can create certain aspects of culture and expectations of you that may be, particularly at your age, and particularly in this climate, very dramatic. And I appreciate it, because at your point in my own life, it was a time of great change, and a time in which I didn't necessarily feel very comfortable with myself. So I can move on into what my perspective is on the bubble, and just say to you, I was a 766 student, which means that I was special ed. In fact, I think I've got it here. Yeah, it's hiding on me. There's my cane. Okay, so I'm legally blinded. So one of the things I don't think you do anymore, so this will show my age, is once upon a time in 7th and 8th grade, you had home economics. Okay, you have to cook. Well, in my case, cook poorly. Okay. And you had something called shop, in which you learned basically how to woodwork. That's right. They let you use a bandsaw. Let you use a bandsaw. So one of the positive aspects of being in a bubble was that because my condition was known, everybody knew me, everybody knew my limitations, knew what was going on. And I had been mainstream because nobody had figured out that my issue was quite as bad as it was until I was really in first grade. Second grade, it kind of like, it doesn't just need glasses, kind of really not seeing things. But because you grow up with all these people around you, right, you really have have a sense of community here. Sometimes it's bad, right, because everybody's in your business, but sometimes it's really good. And the really good was that people were like, okay, there's going to be a way to work this out, and they paired me up with a senior, okay, who thankfully did all the cutting, which is why I got all my fingers. Okay? Really helps later on in life when you have to write books. So there are some really positive aspects of the bubble. And honestly, I was a good but not exceptional student. So for those of you out in the crowd who come to this and are like, you know, it's a real, you put in some real effort to get here, I get it. And sometimes it was difficult for me to feel accepted or to achieve at a level that I would have liked to have, because sometimes I really struggled. So the closeness can be a real benefit in that, you know, you have all of these things, these people who do know you in a way that you probably wouldn't in another community, but also the trials and tribulations that come with that. So my path, leaving the bubble, and I did leave the bubble, and as I wrote this yesterday in an airport in Myrtle Beach, I put a whole bunch of dots after this, because I left eventually, slowly. There was a girl involved. So, yeah. But I went to my undergraduate at Wheaton College, just across the way in Norton. And I was going to take political science. Remember, Mr. President here. So I went into my major, and it's a liberal arts institution. And for those of you who don't know, that means broad education. You don't get just focused. So part of that aspect was you had to take a political philosophy course. And I was like, I'm a political scientist, and I want to do things. I want to be government, I want to change it, I want to understand how it works, I want to see comparative governments, international relations. Let's talk about where the bombs fell, that's what politics is. My advisor got to junior year, was like, you should probably take that political philosophy course that you need to graduate. Okay. I took it, changed my mind. I was scared of it, I didn't want to take it, I thought it was going to be awful, I thought it was going to be hard, I thought it was going to be shop class for the mind for me, okay? But I did it, and facing that fear and the potential failure ended up yielding me a whole new path. That being said, by the time I got done with my undergraduate work, I really didn't want to be in school anymore. Okay, it's May. We all know what it's like not to want to be in school anymore. Well, that becomes amplified after years in college. So I went out into nonprofit, which was awesome, but I had a professor, a teacher, who really touched me when I was in undergrad, my political philosophy professor, and he followed me. He kept in touch, and he's like, Matthew, you gotta do your graduate. You gotta do it, you gotta do it, you gotta do it. So eventually, I got brave enough, and I went to grad school. I packed up all of my stuff into 4 suitcases with my wife, on a one-way ticket to Wales to go to Cardiff University, where I got my PhD and my master's, and bought a one-way ticket and left. That was it, sink or swim. And it was an amazing experience. Got to live down the street from my castle, to meet some awesome people, got to experience Europe, got to live abroad. And that led me to where I am today, teaching down at Providence College in philosophy, and doing my work, research work at Harvard, as well as writing books, art. So it's amazing where that path can go and who you can become. So in conclusion, I'd like to just reiterate to you that learning is forever. You've done it. Being here is a recognition of how well you've done it. But it never ends. And and it's true for everyone else here besides just the students, learning is something that you continue to do. And it is to face that fear of not knowing. It's to embrace the fact that you get to ask questions. This is the philosopher in me talking, by the way. That we should value our ability to ask questions and ask better questions. That facing our fears and our inabilities to know, the challenges therein, is really something that we have to continue to do and to be faced with. And what it does, facing that fear, is it allows you to continue to grow and become the person that you will become. So at this point in your life, the trials and tribulations that you face are very real, and they shouldn't be diminished. It's real important to understand how compressed the bubble can make you feel. But in facing them, you can reveal so much about yourself and your path and where things might go in the future, that I just want to make sure that you embrace the fact that learning is something that you do, whether it's recognized or unrecognized, and that your achievement isn't always measured in the classroom by a certificate or anything else. And to encourage you to keep doing it and to be brave as you move through your middle school and into your high school career and beyond. Thank you very much.
I'll pass out certificates, starting with our 8th grade students, who have been asked that when you come up, you use the side over here, so my right, your left, okay? Come across the stage, then please remain standing on the stage until all of your classmates are called up. And the other thing is, please smile. You just got fed. You're out of class, okay? So a nice big smile for the chicken. And as we traditionally do in the spring, start from the end of the alphabet. Matthew Wright. Megan Wilkes. Amelie LeMay. Brian Sullivan. Jada Soares Montero. Barry Sheep. Jack Shea. Jenna Schlossman. Hannah Russo. Emma Radlinsky. Emma Preston. Allison Pratt. Joshua Poland. James Fiesco. Evan Peralta. Cole Peralta. Selena O'Connell. Caroline Nelson. Anthony Nardelli. Lauren Miranda. Sarah Miller. Maggie McCaffrey. Madison Marquette. Haley Mayer. Lauren McNeil. Andre Gill. Devin Gigantis. Elise Gay. Grace Flynn. Sydney. Jacob E. Dylan Duncan. Jacob Diamond. Isabel Diaz Lamb. Jack DeLuca. Taylor Crookshank. Isaac Cote. Mary Bajukas. Joey Burke. Anthony Ambrose. And a reminder that the grade 8 celebration will be on Friday, June 17th. It will be in here starting at 11:45, and we'll do lunch cookout after that. So congratulations to all of you.
I feel bad. I'll probably still have a
And now for our 7th grade, Vincent's mom. Benjamin Zach. Aaron Zach. Aiden Wells. Alyssa Wallers. Brianna Vilnega. Anna Trott. Adam Trott. Nicole Tattlebaum. Nicholas Spooner. Elizabeth Smith. Ty. Marissa Olivier. Jack O'Toole. Colleen O'Toole. Veronica Newman. Christopher Anopoulos. Lauren Richardson. Ella Milne. Gianna Mesquia. Paul McCaffrey. Tyler May. John Holmes. Sarah Harden. Luke King. Brianna Flair. Melissa Fitzsimmons. Emily Fowler. Ashley DeMall. Angelina D'Agostino. Sean Crowley. Delaney Cousins. Jillian Cockcroft. Elizabeth Cashman. Stephanie Rowe. Ava Bisbee. Priscilla Kawaki. Allison Adams. Congratulations to our seventh grade.
What? What? Can we go home? I just want to do like that. She said, well,
I would like to thank once again Dr. Murray for coming for our high school and our middle school on his breakfast. and most of all, thank our students. We are blessed to have great kids here, not only just in the classroom, but outside the classroom. What they do to give back to our school and community, and how well they represent us is amazing. We are very fortunate, and that just shows the strong community support and strong parental support. So really, I thank you, because everything working together works out very well here. Thank you very much for coming, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.